Welcome to NeoUnrealist. Well. It seems like we have a genuine 5-alarm dumpster fire going on down in Virginia. I mean, this is certainly, I think, without a doubt, the most memorable start to a Black History Month in my living memory, thanks to the Virginia Democrats. Last week, who knew when State Representative Virginia Tran and the governor, Ralph Northam, started making apologies for, advocating, excusing infanticide, same birthday abortions, that we were going to wind up here where you had the governor of Virginia was explaining away photos that emerged on Friday of what were purported to be him in blackface, first apologizing for, then denying over the weekend that it was him, but then his defense became, well, that's not me in the photo of blackface, because it's not the other occasion I remember being in blackface. Then you had that bizarre press conference where it appeared that at one point he was going to do the moonwalk, as he was going to show his the way he used to impersonate Michael Jackson. Fortunately for the governor, his wife stopped him from doing that. That would have gone down. I don't know how he would have lived that one down. But anyway, you have basically almost the entire Democrat Party at the local level, the national level, calling for Governor Ralph Northam to resign. And at this point, I just don't see how he can hang on. He has no base of support. It's only a matter of time. But then you had his lieutenant governor. Now, you got to remember, Virginia, the governor and lieutenant governor do not run on the same ticket. They run separately. So, lieutenant governor, this would be Fairfax. He's been accused by, was it Dr. Vanessa, was it Taylor? Of sexually assaulting her. She claims that at the Democrat National Convention in 2004, if you don't remember, that's the one where Barack Obama first came to national prominence when he gave that speech at the DNC. Well, anyway, the doctor claims that Fairfax and she were in a hotel room, and that he forced her to perform oral sex on him. Against her consent. She says she did not consent. She did not want to do it. This is her claim. He said, she said at the moment. And she's gone forward with her public statement. And, you know, you have, of course, the lieutenant governor denying. He says it was a consensual encounter. But now you have reports coming out that in a meeting with the caucus last night, or his advisors and associates, that the lieutenant governor Fairfax erupted and shouted, fuck that bitch. Which could be a problem in this hashtag #MeToo moment. If you recall, Supreme Court Justice, now Supreme Court Justice, then Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, he got into some trouble just because he got a little emotional during his opening statement at his confirmation hearing when he was trying to defend himself from accusations from Christine Blasey Ford and others that he sexually assaulted them back in high school in the 80s. So I don't know how that's going to fly with the hashtag #MeToo crowd. If it's, it's true that Fairfax is screaming, fuck that bitch, about his accuser. I mean, wow, that's pretty strong language. But let's go back to another story that's just come out, where you now have the number 2 in the line of succession. This is behind the lieutenant governor, the attorney general of the state of Virginia. This is Mark Herring, where he's just come out and just preemptively apologized for an incident of him in blackface. This happened, if I recall right, it was 1980 or 1981. Where he says friends suggested that he dress up as the rapper hip-hop artist Curtis Blow, who was big at the time. Actually, one of the first big rap and hip-hop stars. And just perform a song at a party in blackface as Curtis Blow. That's at least that's his the suggestion. So here we have. I mean, who knew when State Representative Tran came out in favor of abortions on the day of birth of an infant, that we were going to wind up with that spilling out to the governor of Virginia, admitting that he was in blackface, the lieutenant governor of Virginia, now with accusations that he sexually assaulted a woman at the 2004 Democrat National Convention, and now the Attorney General of Virginia, Mark Herring, admitting that he too engaged in blackface at a party. What kind of parties were going on? Were left-wing kids having in Virginia back in the early '80s? Wow, this is amazing. I can't remember a succession of the potentially political career-ending scandals coming in such fast succession. 1, 2, 3, affecting the same part. I just can't. To me, it's unprecedented. Where, although I don't think this is going to happen, because the Democrats, I sincerely doubt they're gonna live up to the rules that they set. When it comes to themselves, because although I'm sure they'll get rid of the governor, I'm fairly positive that at least either Lieutenant Governor Fairfax or Attorney General Mark Herring will keep their position, because if not, the next guy in the line of succession is actually a Republican, believe it or not. So if all three were to go in these scandals, you could end up with control of the Virginia executive position, flipping parties over this. So who knows? I just don't see any way the Democrats it looks like they lose Northam, I think they'll find it a way in their hearts to let Lieutenant Governor Fairfax slide. My guess, they're gonna have him just come out with an apology, but to be fair, I mean, I was one of the ones that was saying with Kavanaugh, if you cannot prove the allegation, you can't have a guy lose his job based on couple decades old accusations with no corroboration. So right now what we have is his accuser and Fairfax. They're in a room. Fairfax acknowledges that the sexual act happened. The dispute is whether or not it was consensual or not. And the thing is that if it was just that and he handled it differently, he'd probably be okay. But it's so ham-handed. This thing with the fuck that bitch. I mean, his defense now, they're coming out and saying, well, he said fuck, but he didn't call her that bitch. I mean, when your defense is splitting the hairs, whether he said fuck about her or fuck that bitch, excuse my language, but this is not the defense you want to, the hill you want to die on if you're Lieutenant Fairfax. As far as Mark Herring goes, well, Mark Herring, if you remember, he was one of the people calling for Governor Northam to resign. So Herring at the time, remember, he hadn't come out yet publicly that he was in blackface. He's calling for the governor to resign for being in blackface. Well, how can he not resign now? When that was the very remedy he proposed as the penalty for being in blackface. To me, I mean, this would be the height of hypocrisy. If only a couple of days ago he's calling for the governor to resign over blackface, and he's guilty of the same exact thing by his own admission. There's no dispute. This is his own admission. If he was calling for the governor to resign, if he's going to be consistent and intellectually honest, he too has to follow the punishment that he called for. Anyway, that's all for this New Unrealist. Like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to keep up with the new content. If you want to go above and beyond, throw some shekels at the channel. You can still use Patreon, although who knows with all the problems they're having right now. You still have the PayPal option. There's also, if you're watching this on BitChute, the tip pledge button down at the bottom of the player. Set up a subscribe star account. That's still being reviewed, so as soon as that's available to you guys, I'll let you know. Other than that, congratulations. You've reached the end of the video. Thanks for watching.